Station gang, welcome to another new episode of Ink and Insights. As you can see, your boy is in his new settings, finally moved into the new house. So happy to be here with y'all on another Wednesday night, as always, joined by my co-host, E. E, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing fantastic, but it's not about me, man. It's about you. Let's talk about these new digs, dude. Like it's
Yeah,
clean
man.
as hell right now, man. Like I can't
So
wait
far
to,
so
to
good.
see
I'll
what
give you
Studio
guys,
2 looks
yeah.
like.
Well, it's not too great like around me, but once we get everything everything all put away, yeah, I'll definitely give you guys the full video tour of the library, man. I can't wait to put it all together. But yeah, so excited to finally have it done, dude. I know you all feel my pain when it comes to moving. Everybody out there can empathize with moving. It sucks, and so I'm glad to have it over with. But yeah, the
Yeah,
wife and I were
nothing
going
makes you
through it, dude.
consider like stopping collecting comic books like moving comic books because it is such a
Yeah.
pain. Yeah.
Too many books, man. Too many books. It's time to donate some, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
that part's
How
coming
you
up very
fellas
soon
doing?
in July, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Christmas in July.
Yeah.
How you guys doing? How's you guys been? Good week? Everybody doing well?
I'm not 6 feet under, man, and I'll take that all day, man. I was telling you guys backstage, I'm about brain dead today, so apologies if I'll apologize ahead of time for all the misinformation that I give on this show. It's bound to happen, so just take everything I say with a grain of salt today.
Yeah.
Fair enough, bro. How about you,
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah,
How's
not
your
too bad
week
this
been?
week. Yeah, not
Yeah?
too bad. It's a short week for Good Friday this week at work, so
Nice.
that's pretty cool. So tomorrow's
That's
my
beautiful.
Friday, and it's new comic book day, dude. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Christmas every single week, as Herm would say. So can't
Yeah.
complain about that.
Bit of a letdown today with the Heroes news. I thought we were going to get some releases of that final wave of guests, but I don't know. So we got that headline that showed like the Wednesday banner, right? And then that space where usually the names are, but no names were there. But we were thinking today was going to be the day, but here we are, empty-handed yet again.
Well,
Yeah,
we were supposed to get something last week.
Yeah.
We didn't get it. It sucks.
It's coming. I
know.
can't wait.
Yeah, prolonging the magic. That's all. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Tantric con news. I can hold out.
Yeah, man. If any of you guys out there in TV land are going to Heroes, hit us up, dude. We'd love to see y'all at the show. But real quick, let's say what up to the chat. DC Patrol in the building. Happy New Comic Book Day, brother. Hope you are well. Good to see you as always. Rogue collecting in this building station, brother. Happy New Comic Book Day. Same to you, man. Y'all make make sure you check out Rogue's On the Radar, his new Instagram account he just launched. Had a nice little artist spotlight on Hayden Sherman there the other day. That was good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Johnny Recaps in the building. Johnny Station, bro.
Johnny,
what's up?
Yeah, Rogue says that Bermejo Spidey cover is so good. Yes, absolutely. Used it for the thumbnail, man. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Yep.
Simpleton in the building station. Moving is the worst, bro. Absolutely. Yeah, Good Squad is all here, bro. Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
The three amigos, man. What up, Omega? Good to see you, bro. Thank
What's
you
up?
guys for coming in. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. As always appreciate y'all coming through. Oh, plug us in the building station, bro.
Yeah. Hey, dude. What's up?
Doctor.
What up, man? Hell yeah. So many great people. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is having a good week. We're gonna start it off with the biggest news of the week, I think. The Daredevil finale was last night, obviously. I guess we thought this was originally going to be like 18 episodes or something like that, but this is the end of season 1, as they're calling it. Season 2 is already in production. As we speak, they're filming season 2, so that shouldn't be too far around the corner. But man, E, I want to send it to you first off, bro. Like, how you feeling just now that we're at the finish line? Did it meet your expectations? Are you happy with how things turned out after this roller coaster ride to get here?
Ooh, good question, man. I think it did. I think it did reach my expectations. Like, it was hard. It's hard not to be excited with a property like Daredevil, both because I'm a huge fan of the character, but more so because of the things that we got in the past, like the Netflix series and how extraordinary that freaking series was. So like, yeah, my hype level was high. But the problem was that we were coming off the heels of a lot of MCU projects that kind of didn't hit that mark and kind of were a little bit, I don't know, lackluster, for lack of a better term. So I tried to be trepidatious on this and kind of hold back that expectation. But I got to say, I feel like the season as it went on got better and better, and it got like progressively more in tune and in line with the thing that I thought made the Netflix season or series so good, that by the end we kind of got that fever pitch, and I felt like, okay, we're here. The people behind the scenes understand the property and what made that show great. I can't wait for season 2 now. So I feel like it hit expectations. It was like this close to being able to say like, oh, you exceeded it though. You did something that was totally out of my comfort zone, I guess.
Well said. I think I completely agree with that statement. I think that's how I feel as well. Nick, how about you, bro? I know you and the wife were into this one week after week, watching all the new episodes. Did you enjoy the season as a whole, and did it meet your expectations?
Yeah, we enjoyed it as a whole. As far as expectations go, the only complaints I really have are production complaints. You know what I mean? Like I enjoyed the story. I tend not to enjoy. I think as I get older or as I pay more attention, I don't think I really enjoy shows that have multi-season storylines. You know, so like we didn't resolve anything necessarily in this one. We built up like the worst case scenario throughout the whole series. And there was a couple little moving pieces, you know, that kind of were in an episode or two. Matt has his evolution. You know, there's no spoilers here, I don't think, but like Punisher is in and out. You know what I mean? He has some pretty cool moments and things. We didn't really go anywhere. It was kind of like a build up to the season break before season 2, and then we're going to continue the story going forward. I would kind of prefer 8 to 12 episodes of like its own story, and then go to season 2 and have its own story in season 3, you know, and so on. So like that was kind of a bummer that we got to wait so long to conclude this arc right here. But it was great to get the cast back, a lot of those guys back, and to be in this world again. I think the reshoots were pretty obvious. There were some episodes where it was like, are we on some kind of high school stage doing some stuff? And that was kind of peppered in throughout a lot of the episodes. And we had a couple one-off episodes where it was more self-contained, and, you know, it kind of was something outside of the norm. And so, you know, I loved being back in this world. I really, really enjoy this character. Charlie Cox is amazing. Vincent D'Onofrio is amazing. All the actors and everything, I had a great time being back in this world. I think my main issues were the overall story being just part 1 of this series, and then just production things in general.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, let's get into. We're gonna go ahead and say spoilers. I'm gonna throw my banner up here. Just scrolling banner, guys, just so you can be aware, because I wanted to talk about the final episode in depth just a little bit, because I feel like we, man, just to get into it, I feel like we really doubled down on the gore in this one, right? Like we really kicked up the violence and the brutality in this one. You know, I think with that crescendoing with Wilson kind of smushing dude's head, that was wild. But yeah, dude, I love how
smushing makes it sound cute, like he did a cute little thing. Like, no, he ripped a man's face and skull in half. Let's say it how it is.
Yeah, that was great. It was great, like the way that it kind of exploded from the pressure, man. It was really well done, and I love like the theater of it. You know, like how he had all those people that he was, you know, he was doing it like this sacrificial act. It was fantastic. But yeah, what did you guys think of? You know, the first half of the issue with Frank Castle being in there heavy, kind of protecting Matt. You know, obviously Matt's hurt. Wilson Fisk decides to double down, take out the vigilante entirely, submerges the city into it goes, the power grid goes offline, the city goes into darkness and madness, and you know, the streets are chaos, and they're trying to kill Matt Murdock. And Frank Castle gets a phone call. We find out from who later, but yeah, he gets a phone call that Matt might need some help, and shows up and gives him just that. But what did you guys think of Frank's appearance in this? I see. For me, this one was a little heavy-handed, and I'm so tired of hearing them still have the argument about killing people versus not. Like, bruh.
You can't do what I do, Red. Come on, Red.
Like, and then it's just like, you just can't help yourself when he's like, yeah, how about that one? How about that one over there? And he shoots him. And it's just
bam. Like, you didn't shoot Cole North. Why didn't you shoot him?
Exactly.
He won't be coming back.
That part was just like, man, that part was eye roll to me. But like at the same time, seeing John Bernthal go to work with a hatchet was pretty badass. I can't even front on that. You know what I mean? So it was a double-edged sword. What did you guys think?
I think that there was no body part that John Bernthal didn't stab or shoot in that one scene. Like every femurs, freaking collarbones. Like some dude got right between the legs. Nothing was safe. Like if there was a piece of flesh out there, it was gonna get stabbed by John Bernthal. I agree. I totally agree. It's like, okay, we've had this conversation between these characters. I don't think that they needed to go there again, except for maybe to draw the other audience in that maybe weren't hip to the Netflix series and kind of give them a little piece of that conversation so that they're kind of in tune with what's going to happen. But I gotta say, man, I enjoy the heck out of John Bernthal as an actor, and I think that's the strength of both series, right? Whether Netflix or the MCU version here, is that they have such good actors in these roles. I almost feel like the plot is secondary at this point. I don't really care what happens. I really like seeing how these people portray the characters that they're in their shoes. John Bernthal is awesome, though. Me and my wife were watching it last night. And we were talking like, man, it's kind of crazy that this is the same dude that has played Carmi's brother in The Bear, because he's so charming and so likable and not really a violent person. He's a dude that you can have a beer with that's going to bullshit with you and tell you stories about how he met Bill Murray at, in a bar at 6 a.m. That's not Frank Castle, but like he definitely can play that role as well. So there's a lot of range with all of these people. So like the more I get with each one of these characters, almost regardless of who it is, I'm going to be happy with it.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I mean, my experience with John Bernthal goes back to Shane and The Walking Dead, so like I mean, it's the same character, it's just evolved in a different timeline, you know what I mean, in a way. So yeah, I ate up that entire team up in Matt's apartment taking on the cops. I will admit it was cheesy as hell. There were eye-rolling moments, but I was eating up that entire freaking scene. And especially when Matt's using his little baton and everything, like he's whipping that shit around and throwing guys all over the place too. And he's arguing with Frank at the same time. And they got Cole pinned up against the wall by his arm and things like that. And I thought it was great. I would agree that I'm kind of tired of that back and forth. Come on, do it. But I really like that moment when he's leaning up against the wall at the end and Frank's like, just do it, Red. Do it. Come on, you can do it. And he's fighting it. Like that moment felt real to me. That was a good moment with that conversation that feels old now. And I really like that a lot. And then of course, the whole escape, jumping out the window with the grenade and things like that. It was a lot of cool moments in that, even though we've seen a lot of that already, but a lot of new people are probably watching this, so they haven't really seen these two interact, and this is what you get.
Bunch of shit. Look, you clock those shit bags in the northwest corner. He's like, they come up here and not gonna play patty cake with him, Red.
Right. It's like, we get it. Yeah, I know.
It's so good though, man. And I love how Marvel Legends has the action figure ready to drop. Like I saw that on Instagram today. They got complete with hatchet, hatchet as a weapon accessory. It's like, but yeah, resolutions. I think, Eric, what you said is very true, because I think a lot of these, like you guys said, we're going to be waiting for a minute for this resolution, but like I think you kind of know where a lot of these characters are headed, at least in the short term. There might be some surprises and twists down the road, but yeah, just watching these people, like we were talking about Gandolfini's kid, just get into these roles where they can really kind of do interesting things, and within. Even though that sometimes their character arcs might not seem super nuanced or super layered or complex, I still think like what they're able to mine here has been incredible. But yeah, man, what did you guys think? Like the second half, we get Kingpin kind of tightening his grip on the city, as he's been doing pretty much the whole season. But here he's really kind of bossing up and embracing the violence. And I don't know, like Matt and everybody else definitely has their back against the wall. They, they're feeling helpless. They're feeling, that we get that conversation with Karen down on the pier of the wharf or whatever, where they're talking about kind of trying to build an army of their own to combat this enormous force that Kingpin has turned. Like Matt was saying, that they've created this own little city state for themselves. They have their own. They have their own army essentially now. So he's really consolidated power in a major way, and and he's also done the Devil's Reign thing or whatever, outlawed superheroes. Like that's been in so many Marvel. How many Marvel stories have we seen that in, right? But
quite a few,
yeah. But yes, I still I think the episode for me out of this season was the past one right before this one. I think that was the best episode of the season. This one, the landing was solid, and I like where we're going and the direction we're headed in. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's gonna be a long wait, and I think how they come out of the gate is gonna be everything in season 2. So I'm really interested to see, now that we've established this thing's gonna be a success and they kind of have more creative freedom. I'm excited to see what they do. But how did you guys feel about the ending of the episode and Kingpin and all that, and where we're headed?
I mean, I feel the same way about the ending of this season as I do about the ending of great arcs within the Daredevil comic, which is that I'm filled with hope because we left the characters in a really interesting place, but also I'm filled with dread because it's like you always leave Matt in the worst possible situation, but I'm filled with hope on the season, particularly because again, we ended at a place where I felt really comfortable with the creative team that's behind the season, or the showrunners, I should say. And it feels like they're going to be able to pick up the ball and run with it without being hindered by having to Frankenstein a season together. Like what we're going to get moving forward is, well, actually, I'm going to pose the question to you, right? Like we'll kick it over to Nick here, but I'm curious to know what you guys think they're going to emulate in season 2, because I can see a couple different paths that they're going to go down for different seasons that they could potentially be mining from. I kind of want to know what you guys think about it. But overall, yeah, I do believe I feel an immense amount of hope for where they're going to take the season or the series moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think they learned a lot in this season, and the reshoots were evidence of that. And I think that if they're already filming season 2, so I think they're going to hopefully pull those lessons learned through into season 2 and not have a bunch of reshoots and things like that. And
no more bank heists.
No more bank heists. No more stages that look like a high school play. You know what I mean? Like none of that kind of stuff. So I'm rewatching the first season right now, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like I just kind of forgot like how it looked like you were on the streets of New York all the time. And it always looked like you're actually in a bar, and it always looked like you're actually in a diner or whatever it is, or in a courthouse or anything. It never looked like some kind of a play. And so to me, it's all about production value. And I think that if they film it the right way, they learn their lessons from the first season, they can do that. And they're carrying this momentum forward. They're filming right now. So I think it's going to be good. As far as like where I think we left it off, I think I mentioned it before. I would rather have a conclusion to the season before going to the next one. And I'll even build on your question, Eric. We have 2 more seasons at least, right? Like 2 and 3, I think has been greenlit for this. If I'm not mistaken. So are we going to get a Defender? Like I don't want a Defenders in season 2. Maybe not even season 3. Like I want a Daredevil show. Like I want a show with Daredevil and his immediate ancillary cast. Like, do I want Jessica Jones in season 2? Maybe. Is this just a launching pad to get the Defenders back so they can take out this army? What's Frank going to do? He's in a position now where he can retaliate again. Is he going to wipe out all those cops in his little special that's going to come out next year or whatever, and then pave the way for the Defenders to go in there and take out Wilson? It's like I don't know. You know what I mean? I kind of like the intimacy of just having a Daredevil show. So if they start throwing in all these other ancillary heroes to build this army, it's going to be my army versus your army. It's going to be like Civil War all over again. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I want, but I hope that they've learned a lot in the first season about how it should look and how it should feel. And I hope they're going to pull that forward. I think they will. either way, I'm going to be eating it up every Tuesday night, man. I cannot wait for it. But I
I
have my
com-
concerns, but I have a lot of hope too.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, though. I hope they don't turn it because it makes you wonder, right? Because they're talking about raising an army. Like, who are they? Who is that army going to consist of? So it's like,
Right.
and I think this show definitely sings and is at its best when it focuses on the emotional core that we've, and the investment that we've formed with, Matt, and like you said, his immediate supporting cast, Karen and Foggy, and we know Foggy's coming back in like season 2. How is that going to work? So many questions, right? So, I don't know. Yeah, but I don't want to see it become bloated. I hope they keep it down baseline and keep it street level and not lose their head too much with it. But yeah, I think all in all, man, given what they had to deal with, I think that they've done an exceptional job season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Personally, I happen to think, and maybe Reddit has led me in this direction. I don't know, spoilers, right? Like heavy duty spoilers, because this could be coming from the dark web. I think the Hand resurrects Foggy to be their next assassin. I don't know.
I just learned today, and I haven't validated this yet, that there's actually a storyline where Vanessa fake kills Foggy.
Yeah.
And he comes back, and I'm like, oh, are we doing that or not? Like, I have no idea. I gotta go back and actually read that and stuff. But that would be interesting. That can't possibly be the case because we had like a year-long time jump and everything else like that. So I doubt they're going to go in that direction.
Exactly.
Witness protection could take a long time. Who knows, man?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. That would feel kind of cheap, I think, to like say no. That would be Kamala Khan all over again.
But in that same vein, I don't feel like they really built on, like, for as crazy and wild as that opening scene was, and his death and stuff like that. They really didn't use it as an emotional anchor anymore throughout the rest of the season, right? They barely mentioned it. Like, you know what I mean? It was in there. Like, we got a little bit of it when he was interviewing Bullseye, and it was mentioned here and there when he had the program. He had the program, and he was telling Heather about him and stuff like that. But it's just like, I don't know, man. I thought it was curious how they kind of chose to be selective about how many times Matt Remon. It just didn't seem like, I don't know. I just thought that was a little suspect. It didn't.
Well,
it didn't
matches,
really play up the finality of it.
I think that theme matches what we've seen in a lot of this season so far, which is like Muse was barely in it. He was, I mean, he was in a couple of episodes. We had tons of graffiti shots, but we only had like maybe 2 episodes worth of content with him, and he was taken care of. Punisher in and out here and there, a couple little moments, with that whole thing. It's just like, it seemed like we had 3 or 4 things we wanted to do. Then we had that whole bank heist episode, which seemed kind of out of place with Kamala's dad and everything in the bank. And I'm like, it seems like they had a lot of ideas that they wanted to tackle in this longer first season. They kind of threw 3 or 4 little things in there, but the main arc is just Kingpin fooling everybody to get to this highest seed he can. With the most amount of corruption possible. I don't know. And it's like, we get Daredevil, then we don't, and then he comes back, and it's just like, okay, so now we're back. Okay, great. But now we got to build an army. So we'll see.
I don't know. And Muse is like, you were telling me Muse in the comic, Muse has actual powers, right? He didn't really come off like that in the comic.
No, not at all. He's an
Inhuman. In the show.
Yeah, he's an Inhuman in the comics, and it's almost kind of like like if he's in your peripheral vision, like he would not be able to sense his, him being around you, which kind of plays against Daredevil's, sensory powers. So
but he's like Venom. He's like Venom the Spider-Man. There's no way to like sense him or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I wish they had made. I like that power set though, for just as an antagonist to Daredevil. All right, let's real quick say what up. A couple people came in. Omega said, "Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, man, you're missing out on this one. This one has been a pleasant surprise. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah,
PNP is the hottest show on Tuesday night again, bro. Hell yeah,
absolutely.
Station. I've been waiting for it to wrap. Hell yeah, check it out, man. It's solid.
Binge
it. Rooster Station, bro. Thanks for coming through, man. Said I feel like John Bernthal's whole career is different shades of Frank Castle. Definitely, dude. I was thinking of his. Remember him in Fury, where he plays that.
Mhm.
There's elements of Frank in there too, as well.
Sure.
Oh yeah. I haven't watched it since they killed off White Tiger. Yeah, man, that was rough. And that guy did so well in that role. So I completely empathize with you there. What up, Pete? Hope you're doing well, brother. Happy New Comic Book Day. Thank you for coming through.
Oh, always one more thing. When Frank goes by and infiltrates the Punisher gang, come on. Like, you weren't going to go more prepared than that? Like,
my favorite part is like, non-lethal rounds, and you're just in there shooting everybody in the face.
Yeah.
But didn't that surprise you guys? He walks in with he just walks in with a handgun. I mean, he did a lot of damage with it, but what I'm saying is, like, if he knew there was an army of them, why did he walk through the front door?
I just want to hear him scream like a bear and gut people. Like, I could just give me that AMSR. Like, and I love that scene when he was like done chopping up some dude and he just looked like a wild animal, you know? Like, when he really goes into that, he unlocks that like just brutal animalistic level. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's well said. Yeah.
I needed an RPG through the window moment, like hanging off the window, like the cover, you know? That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I will say though, there was that moment.
Close combat on this one for sure.
Yeah, well, there's that moment in the kitchen where like he dove over, like when he's tackling that guy over the countertop, and I was watching that going like, damn, dude, I think John Bernthal actually did that. I don't think that was a stunt man at all. Like, I think he was like 100% in that scene doing it.
Yeah,
so,
I can see that.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, man. But great season 1. So can't wait for. When did you say season 2 is going to drop, dude?
I think it's every March now, March 2026. So set your alarm clocks. Put it on your calendars. Oh, did you guys see the after credit scene though? If we're talking spoilers, we may as well.
No, I didn't even fucking wait for that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was.
Hold on, let me throw the spoiler banner back up so we don't have anybody mad at us. Okay, go ahead.
Spoilers. Yeah,
so, tell me what it was, because I missed it and I'm not that pressed to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I had turned it off too when we were originally watching. I'm like, oh wait, it's Marvel. Like, this is the end, so there's got to be a scene. So we know that Frank Castle is captured. He's in his cage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the cheesiest thing, man. So he calls the guy over. He's like, hey, you know, I really respect what you're doing and how you're taking care of us in this cage. And he puts his hand out through the little hole in the cage. He's like, I just want to shake your hand, you know, Semper Fi or whatever. Of course, like, are you going to shake the Punisher's hand when he's in a cage? Yeah, this idiot does, though. And he doesn't walk away with that hand still intact. And so the Punisher escapes.
Oh, he full on escapes in the... That's it.
You don't see it happen, but that's the implication, right? Like he took the keys, but it's like,
oh, that was short.
Like, we talk about eye roll moments. Like, if there was an eye roll moment in this, that was the one. I'm like, are you serious, dude? Like, apparently,
why did you
not employing the smartest people?
Seriously, man, why get all that trouble to even capture it if you're just gonna let him get away? Like, you know, I'm talking about story wise. You know, I don't know. Keep him around for an episode or two at least in that situation.
Well, no, he needs to escape so he can do his whole special that they're gonna put out.
Yeah, true.
I'm ready for that though.
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, absolutely. We need more of those feature presentation type of programs. All right, guys. One more bit of news before we get into the comic books. This Friday is Superman Day, and real quick, I just wanted to take us way back.
Can it be true? Superman will die November 18th at the hands of a villain named Doomsday?
Up in the sky.
Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that.
It'll work. We have faith.
Is it? I don't know if it will.
Legendary heroes. Jeannie Most reports, can it be true? Superman will die November 18th at the hands of a villain named Doomsday?
Up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane. It's a corpse. Come mid-November, Superman will be flying all right to heaven.
Wow.
His S will grace his casket rather than his chest. After 54 years, DC Comics has decided to kill off Superman. We'll let the Cub reporter who used to work with Clark Kent answer his own question.
Hey, whatever happened to Superman anyway?
They must be killing him off because he wasn't selling enough comic books.
DC Comics, may I help you?
The news of Superman's imminent death kept the phones alive at DC Comics.
Oh,
DC Comics confirms that a character named Doomsday will kill Superman. Why?
After 50 some odd years, to get people to notice, sometimes you have to go to extremes.
You see, Superman has an image problem. Did you hear what happened or what's going to happen?
No.
He's going to die.
Sure did have an
Oh, good.
problem.
I'm an anti-Superman fan. I don't like him. He's like a Boy Scout compared to other superheroes.
This from a guy who wears a tattoo of a bad guy, the Joker. Teenagers these days prefer more violent characters, ones like the Punisher, Wolverine, the Infinity War. They make Superman's stunts seem dated.
More powerful than a locomotive.
The news of Superman's imminent demise was greeted not with grief, but as lies.
No, they're not going to kill Superman.
I think they do it just to get money, and then, like, he's going to revive in 2 days.
There's too much money tied up in Superman for him to stay dead forever. And nobody knows what his Kryptonian physiology is like.
And the folks at DC Comics hinted as much, saying there's always hope.
We don't know what death means to a Kryptonian. We may find out.
And DC Comics says there are no plans to take down the life-size Superman replica in the lobby. But the Man of Steel may be too gentle for today's teenagers.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
After all, in his entire comic book career, he's only killed 3 villains.
I think he's corny. Yeah, I don't like him.
It's a bird.
It's a plane!
He's kind of a dork.
Jeannie Moe, CNN, New York.
Oh man, there it is, folks. Yeah, this was absolutely. I wanted to take us back down memory lane because this is the first time I really came in contact with the Man of Steel. Eric and I were talking in the back chat the other day. You're with me on this one. This is the first time you bought a Superman comic as well, right? When
Very
the Death
first
of
one.
Superman.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
And it was like I got every issue of the Death of Superman. Like, yeah, I had every single thing, man. I was looking for those.
Yeah, it was such a crazy moment in response to, and it's just like, in response to them going back and forth, Marvel and DC constantly going back and forth, we're trying to one up each other, and just like looking at the amount of comic books they were selling back then. It's crazy. There was another video I was watching from that same time period, and it's just, I think it's at Midtown Comics or Forbidden Planet or something. They just got a line around the block 3 times over. I don't know. They just had it so good, man. They were selling so many units. It sucks that it was all for nothing. That the bubble was so real. But yeah, just real quick, I just wanted to talk about y'all's history with the Man of Steel. Nick, when was your first encounter with Superman, dude?
Oh my God. Yeah, I was just trying to remember like where I started with that. I mean, most of I wasn't really into DC Comics initially. I was into more Marvel stuff right off the bat, but I was in the backlogs Marvel wise. So I didn't really dip into a lot of Marvel stuff, like week to week stuff. DC though, it was Rebirth. So end of New 52 into Rebirth. And then as soon as Rebirth started, that's when I started really dipping into it. So not the best era to dip into.
I don't know, dude. That Rebirth stuff with like Tomasi was really good, I thought.
Yeah, there were some gems in there for sure, and then especially on like the Batman side. I mean, I dug like some of the Button stuff, and I was reading Watchmen right before that, so like that stuff kind of resonated with me.
Yeah,
and like I said, I was reading like Justice League in the New 52, like the end of that whole thing. So like I was familiar with all that stuff too. So yeah, I would say at end of New 52 into Rebirth is when I really kicked it off with DC.
Yeah, he's always been a character I've been kind of slow to come around to and to collect stories on. But yeah, I don't know, man. He's definitely got some gems out there. E, how about you? Like besides Death of Superman, what are some of the other stories that really endeared you to the character?
Dude, I'm right there with that 12-year-old that was in the comic book store, man. Superman's a dork. Nobody cares about Superman. That's how I felt, man. I like besides Death of
Absolutely. I was
Superman,
one of
which
those kids that was into Wolverine and Punisher, like they were talking about. That was me.
for real, dude. Like, yeah. So beyond like the Christopher Reeves movie, the first two movies were awesome. Um, dude, outside of that, it was Death of Superman, and honestly, there's the hallmark things that stand out to me, like All-Star Superman, like hit everyone's radar because the creative team was so freaking strong. But like as far as an ongoing Superman series that I had followed through with, I mean, honestly, not until the most recent one, like Joshua Williamson is where I'm at too. Like it's kind of embarrassing to say. Like I wasn't hip to John Byrne back in the day. Dan Jurgens got me in for a little bit, but then Electric Blue Superman wasn't it. So I don't know.
Yeah, definitely All Star was like one of those books I came back to after the fact. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's so much other comic history that I put before, and like a lot of the times, a lot of the best Superman stories I read were like the Justice League books or the things where he was a bit player, and it was hard to rock with him on a solo title. But yeah, man, he's having a renaissance of sorts right now for sure. Like Philip Kennedy Johnson on Action Comics was one of those books that definitely got me back into Superman. I thought he did an excellent job on that, and then just his development lately, he's really been able to support more than one title, and that's been incredible. And right now with like Dan Mora and Josh and Jamal Campbell earlier in that run, it's been one of the better Superman runs I think that we've ever gotten. So
imagine that you get great creative teams on characters that are kind of boring and they do some cool stuff with them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's like no facts.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of the weaknesses that I had with the character previously was like, oh, he's unstoppable. Like that's a boring character. What are you going to do with that character? But like the more I think about it, and to use a Marvel examples, right, or comparison points, there's a lot you could do with that character, right? He's got the charm and wit of a character like Spider-Man, right? And he's holding down a job and he has a family. The best times that you have a Spider-Man character, there's normally a relationship that's involved with that. I hope you're listening, Marvel. So he's got like the power set of a Hulk. So you can play with those kind of things, the rage, the anger. You can get cosmic with it. You can get really small in scope. He's still the farm boy from Kansas on that. So honestly, there's way more that you could do with this character than I ever gave him credit for in the times where I was kind of like shying away from the character. And I think that's what's opened me up to him recently.
Yeah. I always like storylines where he kind of goes bad. Like Injustice was an interesting concept as well.
Yes.
So like
that was really well done.
And in Batman v Superman too, like they even played at the fact that like, oh, like if Lois dies, this guy is gonna go ham, right? And like there's different versions of that with like Injustice and stuff too. So I think some of the most interesting things is what happens when he turns heel, and then how do you stop him when he's just unleashed in that berserker mode? Like that's always a fun thing. And we saw that a little bit in Batman Hush, like right the first run when Poison Ivy was kind of messing with his mind and he had to fight Bruce and Catwoman and stuff in the tunnels and whatnot. So those moments are pretty fun as well. But yeah, when he's playing the Boy Scout role, things get a little boring, I think. But like there's more range, Eric, like you're suggesting there that we could explore.
Yeah,
parts of
I feel like they're constantly oscillating between like supreme, omniscient, all powerful, being Superman, and then like laid low by life circumstances.
Right.
He's a little bit less powerful. You know what I mean? I feel like in general, he's kind of like always traveling between those two poles. Like
it's like Flash. It's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So
Flash should be the most powerful thing ever, but he's not because they don't write him to be, so.
No, but it's like when you get those stories though, that really uncover some layer of that, either on the all powerful end or the human end. Those are usually turn out to be the runs that everybody remembers. But yeah, man. Critical Entertainment in the house. Station Brilliant.
Hey,
what's up?
Oh yeah, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a huge year, obviously, for Soups with the movie coming out. I think he's going to be spiking in popularity again. So it'll be, it'll be cool to see that happen. I think it's honestly, it's a good time to have a character who represents brightness and joy and hope and I guess the more, nostalgic, even though they might be impractical and not all the way authentic. Sometimes I think like it's a good time to have an idealized, version of ourselves to look up at. You know what I mean? So I think the world definitely needs Superman right now, and I'm anxious to see what it does this summer. I hope it's I hope that the message that he so often represents really comes through. So,
yeah, same.
Anyway, moving on. Let's get into the comics, dude. E, you want to take us away with your favorite book of the week?
Yeah, of course. Let's talk. I think this is going to be a good conversation piece for the three of us. Let's go ahead and talk Amazing Spider-Man #1, the relaunch by Joe Kelly and Pepe Larraz, colors by Marti Gracia, and letters by Joe Caramagna. This is an interesting one. I feel like I have a lot to say about this issue. Just to kind of break down a little bit about what's going on. Pete's in a hard way. Pete's looking for a job. Pete's there for his Aunt May. Pete's struggling with his responsibilities.
No.
Yes, I know. Shocking craziness. But that's what we're dealing with. So, with all that being said, we're really dealt a foundational level of this character. If you know Peter Parker and Spider-Man, you are not being delivered anything new, anything bold, anything exciting. This is definitely just kind of like putting the toys back in the toy chest, and now they're ready to be placed around on your toy mat yet again to see what kind of new fun adventures you can get. But this is the character that you know and expect. That's exactly what you're being delivered. So before we get into the latter part of the issue here, where we kind of get a little meat and potatoes about what the adventures that we're going to have with this character, what do you guys feel about kind of like the level setting that we have here with our new relaunch, which is supposed to catapult us into this new exciting look at Peter Parker's Spider-Man?
Well, dude, I thought it was a snooze fest. How are you going to open a relaunch, a new #1 with a job interview sequence, man? Like, no. I'm sorry. And it was like, I just thought this was wrong in every way. It didn't grab me in any type of way, writing wise or art wise. When we got to the Rhino fight, that was Kelly right into Pepe's strengths. Pepe swinging for the fences. That's how we should have opened the book.
Yeah.
You should have grabbed us right out of the gate with that bombastic kick-ass art and not had us sit through page after page, panel after panel of Pepe doing these straight faces and stuff. Because that's not where he sings, man. Like, he sings when he's kinetic and getting to go do his thing all over the page. And it felt like he was being bottled up and just waiting to get the hell out of this suit and tie like Peter was, dude. But I just thought, it was painful, man. I got to say, it was a painful way to start the issue for me. Nick, how about you?
Can we just replay the last minute and a half? Because I totally agree. I'm like, it's a new #1. It's not a new #1. It's the cover says #1. So I jumped in and I'm like, I was bored instantly. Like you said, we have a 12-year-old Peter sitting right here in front of us, and he's going from job to job to job. And I'm like, how many times have I talked to you guys about this in comics? I don't really care about the
How many days are there in a year?
Oh my God. I don't care about the mundaneness of some characters. Like, I understand some of it is needed to build and develop a character, but like, I don't need 5 pages of Peter going from job to job and messing around with Aunt May and hanging pictures on the wall and trying to reestablish himself as a character and trying to move on from the past incident that almost took his life and everybody's life that around him. And he's trying to rebuild the foundation for himself. Great. Dude, great power, great responsibility, man. Sorry, you're a superhero. You stop trying to get a job, man.
If he didn't hang that picture of Uncle Ben, though, how are we supposed to remember that iconic line that dictates every single thing that he does, though, Nick? I want to see him in a suit, and I want to see him kicking ass, and I want to see him doing some cool stuff, flying through the air and stopping some bad guys. That's what I want to see. And like Stu just said, we didn't get that till like halfway through the book, and that's when the art really shined. I love Pepe Larraz's art. I'm really, really big fan, and I really did not like half of this book because of that, and the other half was JRJR. We can get into that later, but like this was awesome. This scene right here. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's talk about this because I have a different viewpoint on it. I agree with what you guys say. Here's the thing, and it's difficult because all of us read comics, a lot of comics on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Here's what I would say. If you don't know anything about Spider-Man, which I know is like maybe like whatever, like 4 people in the populace of the of the world, right? Like there's not too many people that don't know the character. In a vacuum, I don't think this was a poorly written story. And if you didn't know Spider-Man, I think that Joe Kelly interjected some humor and he had some fun ideas that you play with if you did not know anything about this character.
But hold on. This is my problem, though. The status, like, I feel like the common baseline level of knowledge for pretty much any red-blooded American, everybody at this point knows who Spider-Man is. Knows his, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, exactly.
That level of like, I felt like Jim Shooter was in the editorial somewhere. Like, we need to make sure we talk about how a spider bit him and he got his powers from. You know what I mean? It just was like. I don't know. There's too much exposition with it. I felt like, and I feel like they need,
like, and that's what I'm saying. Like in a vacuum, I can see how this could be an effective issue number 1 for a person that has no background. But you're writing to 3 people in the world as opposed to the greater comic book reading community, which in turn is a failure. Here's my hot take, though. My thing that kind of goes against what you guys say, because I agree wholeheartedly about everything else. I did not like the artwork in this. And I'm not talking about the JR stuff. I'm talking about the Pepe stuff. This action scene was so difficult to distinguish where they were, what was happening, what action was taking place. I didn't know that they were on a highway. I knew they were on the street from one scene, but if you look at each and every one of those other panels, I have no idea where they're at. There's absolutely no background. The page flow is a little bit painful. And I don't know. I think the artwork was a failure. And I'm sorry. If you're using digital Zipatone, stop it. Just stop it. Don't do it anymore because I hate it. I cannot stand it. And the fact that they try to blur things and make it like a photo effect as if you're in real. I don't want real life. I want a comic book and I want comic book art. Quit trying to emulate real life. I don't want it. Nobody cares about it. We can look out our window to find that kind of stuff. Make the artwork a comic book. Make it sing in the way that a comic book should, and make it readable, legible, and fun. He hit maybe on some of those factors, but I think that most of this was kind of a mess.
I'll agree that this is not Pepe Larraz's strongest. I got halfway through this and I'm like, this is not as good as I thought it was going to be art-wise as well. There are moments in this book. There's a few panels, I don't know if you have them in your slides, where it's like a night shot of the city and it's like the coloring is real nice, and that brought me back to what I was expecting. I agree, this splash page with Rhino and with Spider-Man with throwing the car, like the top left one, I thought that was a little bit rushed. I looked at that one, I was like, it's cool, but it's not what I come to expect. You know what I mean? And so there are definitely now, you know, the bottom left one there, I thought that was a pretty cool shot. You know what I mean? That's a great one. But you muted out your background, like you said. So like we're isolating that. We're taking our time. We're rushing things. Maybe, who knows? I definitely know what you're saying about the art. It was about 70% what I expected from him, just in general. And some of those moments were 100%.
I didn't like the back page. The back page was my one gripe because it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't wow me or leave me with like, oh man, I can't wait to get to issue 2. Not like that. Much of this
no, I was completely lost when you know.
Yeah, but it's just
I was like,
what's
who is
going
this
on?
guy and who's he talking to? What's going on? Like, what are we doing? I have no idea.
I don't know.
You know,
the ending was bizarre. The ending was super bizarre, and like it just, like I said earlier, did you guys felt like Kelly and Pepe were in sync? It just didn't feel like they were complimenting each other at all. I don't know.
I couldn't stand the story, and the art was about 70% what I was expecting from Pepe Larraz, and I usually love that guy's work.
Yeah, and that it's painful from the same dude that gave us House of X, because I mean the smallest moments were some of the biggest moments. You know, Magneto turning his head and saying, "No, we're your gods." Oh my god! Like the artwork on that hits. None of this hits in that same way. Like Rhino's having a heart attack or something right there. It looks like he crapped in his Rhino suit or something. Like I mean, like it just doesn't do it. It just.
Oh, do I need to analyze that? Let's see. They have, I can't quite see it very. Oh, pericardial thump. No, That's not going to work either. So he does that thing. I think I made a point about that somewhere at some point.
Yeah,
Like, that's not how that works.
We need a new segment, and we need a segment within Nick at Night where you
Let's
analyze one medical scene each week and tell us if it's shit or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Edson says Blair's a big no thank you for me. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Stop it.
Curtis says definitely hard to see what is going on in these pages. Yep, absolutely. It is busy. We don't have the art up, but do you guys want to talk about JR or any of the other?
You know, there was a reason I left the latter half of the issue off of here.
I saw that switch and I'm like, oh God, I'm going to have to talk about this at some point. But I don't have to now.
It was rough. I don't know. They're not going to keep doing that, are they?
Yeah. I don't know how quick Pepe is on the artwork, but man, like, he's not known to be a monthly artist. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I don't know. It was rough, man. I don't know. It was great to see him back, but at the same time, it just feels like he's kind of taking this job for a check, and it doesn't feel like his heart, like he's inspired, like he was when he was teamed up with Hickman and making that.
Dude, even when he was with friggin' Mark Miller on the big game, you know, like some of those shots were like iconic, you know, like watching, like reading like the Marvels or something like that, those iconic shots in the air of superheroes just existing. Like that's what I was hoping for. And like the Hickman stuff. And then, yeah, this just seemed like Temu version.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe it's not him, you know, maybe he's only drawing up to the standard of his pay rate at Marvel.
That could totally be it too. Timeline and pay rate.
I mean, he's got to be the highest paid, if not one of the. You would hope so, at least, right?
Yeah.
At this point. Yeah. All right, moving on.
God. Okay.
Oh
no, it doesn't get better from here, guys. What are you talking about?
Oh no! I'm gonna fight you on this one.
Absolutely. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Absolute Batman #7. Scott Snyder, Marcos Martin filling in on art. Now Marcos has done. He did Friday with Brubaker. Is that correct?
What else? That would be correct.
What else is he? Is there any other works he's largely known for that I'm?
Yes, he's done a lot of fill-in issues. Like he's been on Daredevil for a couple issues, filling in for either Chris Samney or Paula Rivera in the past. He's done like minor work is like fill-in stuff mostly from like my level of knowledge here. But let's see what I'm missing here. Remember, I said that I'm brain dead today, so. You know, you
all good, dude.
Forgive me.
In the meantime, Omega says critical entertainment in the chat. Shout out to the first Americans. Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you want to talk about an issue of a comic that's legible and readable throughout, like from the start to the finish? Read The Quarrel by Critical Entertainment.
Hell yeah. Something saying the Oath, Doctor Strange. Oh, did Marcos was on the Oath art? That's dope.
Oh, did he do Batgirl Year One? Did some Green Arrow work. He's done. He did a little bit of the Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man when Chip Zdarsky was on it.
Oh, okay. I love that run. Yeah. And then Private Eye was awesome. Says that's so all good recommendations. All right, word, appreciate it. But yeah, so definitely a switch up from Dragotta. It was rough in parts. I'll be honest, man. I didn't know whether Bruce looked like he had one too many Twinkies a couple times in this episode.
I got to fight both of you. All right,
come on, bro. Let's be honest.
That opening was rough.
There's a couple times where really get like Bruce has got as many chins as I do. Like that's not how Batman should be looking, bro. You know, I should not be seeing myself in Batman. So I don't know. There was some parts of it that were super dope, and I thought really well tailored to Marcus's style. But other parts of it was just like, yeesh. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's get to it. This one introduces us
more
to
ammunition.
Absolute Mr. Freeze, as it were, and Matches Malone, which is very cool. Matches Malone is he's not an alter ego of Batman / Bruce Wayne. In this one, he's an actual person, member of the friend group, came up in Crime Alley with the rest of them, but then has always kind of had more issues than the rest, right? And kind of been in and out of trouble and on the fringes of society, as it were. But Bruce taps him to find out what is on this Arc M, this giant island that contractors are building kind of off the coast of Gotham, and he wants to find out what's going on there. So he taps to Matches to find out. He wants Matches to get him a a pass to basically be able to work on the job site. Matches ends up working on the job site and feeding him the information, kind of, being the one that got in the way of danger. Yeah, I like the vibe switch too. I did too. But I'm just saying.
What? Oh, the comment.
Some parts of it.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
The vibe switch was cool. Some parts of it were rough. I mean, I'm agreeing with you, but disagree with you at the same time.
Love the comment, Omega.
Yeah.
Good job.
Is there anything else you want to highlight to support your point of view before we move on?
There's one. Was that? Let's keep it there. Let's keep it there. Go on. Continue. I'm sorry. I interrupted here.
Anyway, what did you guys think of, first of all, Matches Malone being an actual person in this one, and his and Bruce's relationship, and that we find out more about the friend group?
I did a little homework today. I did a little bit of research. So Nick, I'm going to let you go ahead and go first.
I didn't do any research at all. I'm just going off of my I don't know. I mean, like I don't know. I feel like if there's any Easter eggs and characters in here, that kind of concept was all lost on me. So I mean, like if there's anything I can learn from this, that'd be great. But like, I don't know. The opening scene was just a little bit jarring from storytelling and just from an art perspective. So I was kind of like just waiting for something else to happen. And how do we get off this bridge talking to this guy? You know, just that's kind of my main concern when I was reading this first part. Couldn't get
I'm getting real
Victor
Freeze vibes from you today, okay? And I don't
couldn't
know
get through this issue fast
enough.
enough.
Yeah. Nick's like, why the fuck are we talking about this?
Yeah, it's like
Nick's like, I came on the show tonight and you guys give me Spider-Man and then this shit. Like, what am I doing?
Spider-Man and then Batman. Holy shit!
I'm sorry that your heart is freaking ice cold tonight, man. That sounds like a you problem.
It's the year of the heel, right? We're trying.
Oh my god!
All right,
Stu, what did you think about Matches Malone?
I loved that. I've always loved the idea of Matches, whether he was, an alter ego or whatever. I just love the idea of Matches Malone and just kind of like what he's represented in the DC universe. So this was super dope to see, and I thought it was cool that they made him his own person and not kind of the alter ego of Bruce. I like the way it was kind of played out and brought to life here. How about you, bro?
Okay, here's my unreliable research, but the thing that I maybe kind of found out, I was of the same opinion of both of you. I always knew Matches Malone as the alter ego, the mustache wearing Bruce Wayne when he kind of like goes into the crime syndicates and gets in with the families and does his stuff. Matches Malone, in fact, did originate as his own character, and Bruce, to honor that person who had very much the same mentality and ideals, if you will, of the character that we're introduced to within the Absolute universe. Same kind of thing happens. He falls. He basically succumbs to some tragedy that happens here. Bruce buries him next to his brother, who kind of got him into the crime world, and then Bruce uses the moniker of Matches Malone to honor him, to use as his alter ego. But originally, it was his own character. It was a true, actual person within DC proper.
Oh, hell yeah. Do you know when he first appeared?
I could maybe possibly find out.
When's the last time we saw him? Like in like a
I believe that this was like classic kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I was going to say, like, this is not a territory I'm familiar with at all. So I'm learning.
That's dope that he was his own person. But yeah, so after this, I thought was where Martin shined. I thought this was like one of the high points of the issue for him. Our boy Matches succumbs to this bacterium, is what they find out it is later, and basically starts bleeding out all his pores and suffers this horrific death right in front of chubby ass Bruce. Look at them. Look at that boy. Ooh, we put down
He's
the
just
hamburger.
wearing a loose hoodie.
All right.
He's just wearing a loose hoodie.
He kind of looks like Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, right? In a way, like a fat one.
What?
Yeah, a real fat one, definitely.
I hate this show. I hate this. This is the worst.
No, that's not coming.
I forgot.
It's somebody.
All right, I forgot what I was talking about. What happens in the rest of this issue?
Oh, we get a vampire story at the end. No, but there were some great colors with him flying through the air. Awesome colors, man. I love that part. With him infiltrating and getting out. Oh, I love that part. That was great.
That was a great shot. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he finds out that he infiltrates Freeze's corporation as a, under the guise of a city engineer, saying he needs to see why this place is sucking up so much power up off the grid. He finds Victor and Nora frozen and the ice, and that his son is the one really running things. And then his son kind of turns into his own version of Mr. Freeze at the I don't know how to describe this version of Mr. Freeze. How would you guys go about
it's a vampire?
Describe?
Yeah, ice troll. I don't know.
I think that's part of the problem. I think we're outlining part of the problem here.
Exactly. He looks to be gigantic, right, in form and shape and size. He had Fat Bruce's chubby ass head in his palm. He's gonna squeeze that thing like a cupcake. But yeah. So I don't know. Victor's son has assumed the mantle of Freeze, and this was kind of like a interesting swerve.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I still like where we're going story wise. It was an interesting choice. I don't know how I feel. Like I like these introductions of these new characters, but I don't know if we need to. I think we could. I don't know. Take your time with it a little bit more. I don't think we need to like the whole entire absolute bat universe introduced in the first 10 issues. But regardless,
I mean, we kind of got introduced to them all in the first issue, though. Remember, we've already gotten the Penguin, we've gotten Two-Face, we've gotten Selena, we've gotten the Riddler, because they're all his friends group.
Yeah,
so we kind of do.
Buddies.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, man. I'm just saying they're checking everybody off the list. Like, there's going to be nobody. Wouldn't you want to have a nice little trump card in your back pocket for like the second or third arc? But I guess the Joker's still out there, right? He's still mysterious. That was kind of random that they introduced him and we haven't seen him since. But
yeah,
I don't know. What did you guys think about this version? I guess we know how Nick feels. How did you feel, E, about Freeze and?
All right. I thought this was the best issue of Absolute Batman yet. And I'm not even joking around. I'm not even just trying to play the heel or mess with you guys. I very honestly, very truly believe that this is the best issue that we've been delivered of Absolute Batman so far. I think that story-wise, it did the most to move the plot and the relationships forward. And like I was talking about, kind of similar to the Daredevil series, right? I've found personally myself, I like character development and relationships even more than I like plot. I don't really care what happens to plot, because at the end of the day, especially with comic books and the big two, plot doesn't matter, because plot will eventually go back to the status quo. This was awesome, though. I love the artwork. I love the approach on this. I think that, yes, it was an artistic change. It was very different. And is Bruce still big? Yeah. Does he look a little bit different? Sure, that's fine. But look at Matches Malone and what he's dealing with at the foot of death right here. Like, that's grotesque. It's gnarly. It is crazy. Let's talk about visual storytelling here. I love the way the play of colors in such a simple way, going back and forth between Bruce and Bruce's friend group, the people that we talked about, like the rogues who are his, like, part of his crew now. All of these people, they're hip to what Bruce is doing. They're hip to how he's been manipulating them and using them for the betterment of the Batman, who they didn't even know he was actually in that role. The color choice, the moving back and forth between the magenta and the cyan or the dark blue, as you kind of see those mentalities and see that relationship crumbling. That was fantastic. I think that the color choices in this were spot on. I really, really like Marcos Martin as an artist. I can see him taking a book like this. In fact, I wish he was on a book like this as the solo main artist, because I feel strongly about like his approach and his visual storytelling to that degree. And the critique on Mr. Freeze, I get it. We don't know what he is, but also he was kind of revealed on like the second to last page. So, we're kind of left in a place where it's supposed to still be mysterious. So what he is, I'm cool waiting, because they kind of set it up to be that way. So long story short, I'm right, and I'm cool with that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Wow.
Yeah, would y'all think Batman's frozen and out of commission, and he's gonna have to get his homies to help him out?
I mean, probably, right? There's got to be some kind of resolution for that friend group to. I mean, they know who he is now. They know what's going on. The game, So friends.
That was a great sequence, though, man. I did really love that. How oh, when you studied with me and when you slummed it with me, it was like, was that all Batman? Like that was great. That was a great little back and forth.
I mean, the idea of like microorganisms living inside of ice that's been around forever, like that's a cool idea, and like cryo freezing people for to solve whatever illnesses they might have in the future. I mean, I don't know. We'll learn more as we read, but like as far as an absolute villain or absolute twist, like I just didn't dig this one as much as some of the other ones. But you guys know my feeling about this Absolute Batman run in general. But like the Absolute books, I feel like some are tackling this opportunity a little bit better. And I haven't felt it with Batman yet. And this just takes all the familiar characters we have and puts them in different places for no reason just yet, I guess. Like taking all of his villains, like we said, making a poker club out of them and stuff. It's like, well, what are you going to do? You're running out of bad guys, It's like, where are you going to go from here? You're going to have more one-off guys that try to destroy Gotham, and at the last minute you save the day again. It's like, I don't know where you're going to go.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that at all, man. Like, yeah, you hit the nail.
And this art style is really cool. Like, it's very reminiscent of Samney, right? On Year One. Here and there, there's moments of it, right? Like when he's zipping around and he's infiltrating the V-Core base and everything, and the color choices are bright and vibrant. I get those Samney vibes. So I'm like, if I want that vibe, I'll just read Batman and Robin Year One, But this is cool too. It has its moments, but I just need more before I can make a decision on it. I'm not looking forward to it, unfortunately, but I'll keep reading it.
Yep. Slow down on the cheeseburgers, Bruce. Damn. Chill, don't encourage him because he's not. He's not.
Chill. What's going on?
Come on, bro.
Feed me. Yes, bring it. No, but how exciting is it though that we could talk about a book like this and like totally have completely separate trains of thought on it? Like, whatever. Like, I enjoy that kind of thing because I mean, we're not an echo chamber, right? Like, we should have
for
different
sure.
opinions.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Even if you're wrong, it's all right.
even if and when I'm wrong, which is often and likely.
All right. Our last comic of the evening, guys. Transformers number 19. This one had a brand new artist I've never heard of. Of course, Daniel Warren Johnson. He's going to be on until 25, finishing kind of in the home stretch here. Ludo Lullaby. I'm going to say it like that because I want to. Adriano Lucas and Russ Wooten on letters. This one dealt with like the trials of Megatron. I don't know. This one didn't really do it for me as far as Transformers issues. I gotta say, this was like kind of like one of my more least favorite issues. I don't know. Not that the art style wasn't. I thought the art style was fun. It was serviceable. I mean, it's not Jorge or it's not Daniel. That said, I just the story felt a little disjointed and jarring for me, and I just didn't. It took me a minute to figure out what was going on and what all this meant, and even kind of coming out of it, I was still a little foggy on things. But how did you guys experience it?
Dang it. Now I'm disappointed because I solely picked this book because I wanted you to explain what the hell was going on. Because I'm like, clearly this has some.
Well, me to explain.
Yeah, because this has to have something to do with Void Rivals, and I'm not reading Void Rivals, so I'm like, I don't know who these lizard people are. Who are? I don't understand who's putting him through these trials. I liked it, but I'm like, teach me, tell me something.
I don't know, man.
I'll have to go to the chat on that because I think it's lost on all three of us, to be honest with you.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm up to date on Void, but I don't know who the hell.
The problem with Void is like there's so many weird ass characters from factions that you only touch base with on the first opening page, and you don't see them again for 3 more issues, and they pop back up on the first page again. You're like, now where were they again? Like who is that person?
Oh yes, the second son of Matreculus, right?
It was
Bore of Leforius. Okay,
exactly.
Yeah, it definitely felt like there was a couple of those moments in there where like I was like, man, I bet a Transformer fan is taking a big gasp of breath right now, like at some revelation that's just not landing with me.
That's how I felt the whole time.
This is the moment where I needed that graphic that I made where Fable's face pops up on the screen, and goes toasty.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely. I definitely like need him hand in hand. But regardless, I still thought the art, Ludo did a admirable job on the villain duties. There were some badass scenes of Megatron going Super Saiyan and kind of rediscovering, learning how to use this dark power, which is now within him and part of him, and kind of the yin to the prime's yang. So we'll say where there is light, there must be dark. And
that sounds dirty, man. To prime's yang. This is a family show, sir.
Well, yeah, I think those two definitely have the hots for one another. I could definitely see those two together in the throes of passion for sure.
Oh,
Wait, what?
We're talking about. No, never mind. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to get us kicked off YouTube. But yeah, I don't know. It was. Given that we only got till 25 with Daniel Warren Johnson, I'm really like I'm all in now with Megatron back in the picture and how this is all going to wrap up. So this one didn't really didn't really like push the momentum forward like I was hoping it would. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, we're in the throes of it now. I don't know. Did y'all did it hit like that? Did any of it resonate with y'all?
I was like, I had low expectations for this issue because I can't remember a damn Transformer name to save my life. But secondly, I saw the art change and I'm like, ooh, I don't know that dude. But because my expectations were set like to a really low point, I kind of dug what we were delivered, at least. Like it was like this issue, when I look back at the Daniel Warren Johnson time within Transformers, this one probably isn't going to stand out to me. But for the single issue itself and kind of knowing what I was expecting out of it, I kind of dug it. Like when I was reviewing this, I was looking at the artwork and I was going, dude, this kind of it feels outside, different than the Daniel Warren Johnson stuff and the Jorge Corona stuff. But it kind of gave me Joe Mad vibes. It kind of felt like Joe Mad Urera, and I liked that because like he was one of my favorite artists back in the day. Probably still would be if he was still doing comics. But and like it was cool. Was it special? No, but like it was kind of cool. I dug it.
Yeah. How about you, Nate?
So Desimir, if I'm pronouncing that right, is that dude with like the alien, the xenomorph head, right? So he's one of the quintessence people, right? Okay. So I what I'm reading, my assumption of what's going on in this, without having a vast Transformers background, and I love it if somebody in the chat would please correct us, is I think at some point in Megatron's life, they came down, abducted him, and ran him through these trials, right? And I think this is part of. I think I said in my review, this has to be some kind of foundational moment where he kind of turns or solidifies his path forward or something like that, where he learns to be as malevolent as possible. And they're talking in this whole issue, it's pretty interesting because it's kind of like a doomsday kind of a vibe, right? He's in this constant trial, he gets killed and he has to constantly learn how to evolve and how to not die that same way or whatever it might be. And he finds out how to evolve into like his ultimate form, which is just like a handgun. And so like, I think this is a foundational moment for him, led by the quintessence or whatever, and that's what we got here. So I think Eric, you're absolutely right. Like, or whoever said it, somewhere during this book, like some Transformers people are just like completely geeking out on what's going on inside the story, and I think that's what we got on right here. But Stu, to your point, like I was reading this whole thing, and then we get to the end, and I think it flashes forward to like the current day, maybe, and like all of a sudden he transforms back into that gun, and it's in some guy's hand. Like Eric, you were saying, like I don't know who these people are. I can't keep the names straight. I'm like, where are we? What are we doing? I thought he just came back, and he's using the bird as eyes and everything. I'm like, I couldn't piece this together. And like you guys are saying, it's like we only have a few more issues left, and I hate it when they waste one of those issues on some backstory that it's going to be lost on a lot of people, like myself.
For sure.
So.
It's like, it's like, I feel like every issue we get this like huge build up, and he's like, and now I have become the Devastator, and everybody's like, oh shit! And
oh my god!
Yeah. Like I'm trying to figure out what to root for and when to clap and when not to. Oh wait, we got Pete.
Yeah, here we go. Teach us.
Quintessence brought the Age of Rat to Cybertron and enslaved the Transformers against Sentinel Prime, fought them off, and freed the planet. Thank you, Pete. Jesus, we are lost out here, bro. So appreciate that. So yeah, they're the harbingers of the blight then, yeah.
Okay.
But the Decepticons were still people who were living on Cybertron, right? Because at the end of the day, they're all Transformers, right? They're just different factions of them, the good guys and the bad guys, but they're all, people of Cybertron. So is this then Megatron turning heel and kind of becoming one with the people who brought like doom and destruction to their planet?
Yeah, good question. Like, what's the point of these trials? And what did they see something in Megatron to make him like be more bad, or you know what I mean? Yeah.
Why are lizard people so bad? Tell us.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anything that crawls on its belly is bad. Like that's, I guess, the theme.
Just like Fat Batman in our previous issue.
Yeah.
Just like Fat Batman. Yeah.
It's like, why me? You liked Amazing Spider-Man #1. He said he's still there too. Yeah.
Now we're getting to the good stuff.
Yeah, dude. I gotta say, man, how do we leave this book and Ultimates off the list?
Because it was time that we gave the spotlight to some lesser talked about books. Sometimes you gotta drudge through the crap to appreciate the really good stuff.
Hey man. So go ahead and give us your It's the Little Things, man. What little details stood out to you this week, bro?
It's the little things. The little thing for me this week was this panel from the G.I. Joe Jinx special, the silent issue. And it was just something as simple as a freaking katana being thrown through the air, the whiz of it cutting through the air, right? You see the motion lines on it. You see the fantastic art approach by Danny here as it is flying through. Sure enough, going to be able to hit, one of the Cobra people as she's infiltrating this place and setting the bomb. I just loved it. It's something so simple. And I have a cat that's jumping in my lap. Hello, kitty. And yeah, I just loved everything about this. Danny's artwork approach was fantastic on it. And the same things I talked about with Pepe Larraz's artwork. It's everything it's the antithesis of that, right? This feels comic booky. It feels very uniquely comic book, and I love it.
Yeah, that reminds me of Frank Miller drawing an Elektra, throwing the side type of panel. You know what I mean? It's got that type of energy to it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, for me, it was this panel right here from ASM where Pepe realized he wasn't going to get out alive yet again. No, I'm just fucking. No, I love this one, man. This like amidst all the rough, slow burn of the job interview, you see panels like this, and you're like, man, just let this man loose, right? This was one of those first panels I saw in the book that really stood out to me, and I was like, all right, where is more of this? I love the way the Goblin looks here. I love the look on Spidey's face. It's just a small little panel in the middle of, like I said, in the middle of all this mundane stuff, but this is what we need more of. So, yeah, I just wanted to shout this one out.
Hey, shout out to using the 9-panel grid correctly, too. The action, right, the selling point of the page should be right there in the middle of the page, and that's the most exciting panel. So kudos to them.
Oh, yeah. Always good to see a 9-panel grid displayed well, my guy. Mm-hmm. All right, covers of the week. You kick us off.
All right, we were just talking about it. I'm going to talk about it again. This is the black and white variant by Danny of the G.I. Joe Jinx Special Numero Uno. Man, her artwork just like really sings. Like, I mean, you saw the color work, and the color work really looks fantastic. But gosh, like you hear it up, down, left, and right. But a page has to be true in black and white, and the color should elevate it from there. If it's not good in black and white, you probably need to work on it a little bit more. But this in black and white looks so good.
Absolutely.
Next up, there we go. We got the Storm variant here, and excuse me again, I'm brain dead. I don't even remember. I think it was Marguerite Savage that was on this variant for Storm. Yes, I got it right. I'm not totally brain dead. I just dig it, man. Storm is a fantastic book. I love the electricity crackle off of this, and I love the simplicity of the color work as well. Really, tonally, it makes those electricity volts like really pop off the page because it's so starkly white and gray and kind of that light blue. So that looked really cool for me. And finally, let's see what we got here.
I'm sorry.
Gotcha. Now, this one I absolutely don't remember the artist on it. It was the last minute pick here, but man, Incredible Hulk. Like, I'm not reading the book, but this is the kind of cover that's going to pop off the stands for me and maybe make me consider reading it, because that looks awesome, man. And it really feeds into the idea of the Hulk himself, right? That the inner persona, right? The inner rage ready to pop out. So even when it's the Hulk himself, though, those little inner Hulks, it's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I dug it.
Absolutely. Oh man,
I had one more.
Time. Let's go.
What was I thinking? ASM, you want a reason to pick up ASM #1? Maybe pick up the Dan Panosian Catwoman variant cover, because he was my cover artist of the year in 2024 for a reason. And man, somebody got to step up to the plate, give him some competition, because it's Panosian time, baby.
Yeah, he's running away with it again.
He is. Guys, like every single week is killing it.
Yep.
On more than one cover. For me, Martin Simmons, Batman Dark Patterns, just love this this variant depicting what he's kind of dealing with in this Scarface tenement building that he's going through. Such a fun story. I love this story. That
really great.
It's brilliant, dude. So many great Batman books on the shelves right now, isn't that right, Nick? Yes, sir. Batman Dark Patterns, Batman and Robin. There's so many bangers out here. Absolute Batman.
Yep, those two.
Chubby Batman. Chubby Batman rules. David Mack, dude, I love this gambit with the heart, the spade, the diamond, and the clover. And each panel of the X. I just thought it was fantastic. I just love his compositions are brilliant. Always here for David Mack art. Doing a bunch of that Muse art in the Daredevil show as well.
Yep.
Mark Brooks is killing it on these Spider-Gwens covers, dude. I heard talking about these. I checked out a few of them. They're fantastic. So he's doing the cover A's on these. They look great. Not reading that book, probably won't ever, but I just a huge Mark Brooks fan. So
I wouldn't have known that was Mark Brooks if you wouldn't have said it. That looks outside of the scope of what he normally does. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Totally different style.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, dude, like we said, last but not least, this is from the Asgard Strange book, but Dan the Man killing it again. Multiple covers a week, and they're all bangers. So shout out Dan Panosian, one of the best doing it.
I heard that's a really exciting, bold book too, man. Like Nick, that was the top of the pile for you?
#1 was great. #2 sucked. Yeah. Yeah. That was a hard left turn right there. Yeah.
That's all right. Don't let him do that to you, Nick. See, he's trying to make you answer for it here. That's dastardly work, Eric. Jeez.
I'm actually trying to do him a favor. He was the Marvel shill, and I'm trying to let him shed that skin, right? To break out of the cocoon, to be the beautiful butterfly that loves indie books now.
Trying to be the positive comic reviewer, guys. Come on.
All right, bro. Tell us about our Comics of Future Past. What comic was released on April 16th?
Released on April 16th here in 1986. Wheezy Simonson, who I had to go back and research here. She was Simonson back in 1986. I didn't realize how long her and Walt have been together. Because I'm like, man, which name am I going to put here?
Or something, isn't it?
Dude, it's been a long time. So hey, shout out to Wheezy and Walt. Written by Louise Simonson, though, with artwork by Jackson Butch Geis, is X Factor #6, our first full appearance of the mutant we come to know as Apocalypse. A little bit different, little bit kind of smaller in scope than what we had come to see of Apocalypse being like the grandiose villain of all mutantdom, or hero, I guess, depending on which way you look at it, right? This was interesting, though, because looking back at this issue, it's kind of fun to look back and see sometimes how hokey and cheesy and just kind of bizarre these comic books are. This was the reintroduction of our original X-Men team, and this was after the Dark Phoenix saga, after the kerfuffle of Jean Grey's resurrection that people fought against, but kind of it happened. It was allowed by Jim Shooter without letting Chris Claremont know. A lot of weird stuff going on here, man. We have a love triangle between Angel and Jean Grey and Cyclops. Cyclops still not telling Jean that technically he's kind of, sort of still married to Madeline Pryor in this book. And then, lo and behold, Apocalypse comes on the scene here. Interesting, though, because there was a last-minute change here. The villain that was really supposed to be in this book was not Apocalypse, not the mutant menace that we know him to be, preaching survival of the fittest. It was a Daredevil villain by the name of Leland Owsley, the Owl.
Oh shit!
A little bit different.
It's a good change.
It's a good change. And that is today's Comics of Futures Past.
Hell yeah, dude! Well played, well played. Good stuff. I love Louise, dude. It's such a legend. Like, really created. Speaking of Superman, she had a hand in creating Doomsday, didn't she?
She was part of the cabal of writers and artists that were involved with that whole Death of Superman arc, man. It's crazy to think of how many people were actually involved with all of that. Because, I mean, it really spread out to, like, every DC title in existence.
Yeah.
And then we had the reign of the Superman and the return of Superman. So, like, that was a big swing that DC took.
Absolutely. Weezy's a legend. I'd love to meet her and Wallet at a con. I hope I get the chance sometime soon.
Heroes. Release round 3. Tell us.
Yeah, please. That would be
I'll refresh
amazing.
it real quick while we're here.
Torture us.
Let's see here.
All right, gang. That's going to do it for us this week. As always, we're going to be talking about some books next week. We don't know exactly what yet, but what are you guys looking forward to?
Nick, go ahead. Kick it off, man. What are you looking forward to? Some of them you may have already read.
Yeah, I'll just kind of flip through my pile. I'm looking forward to the Daniel Warren Johnson Wolverine story.
Yes.
I know he did the cover, which is insane. And so yeah. I'm looking forward to Zatanna issue number 3. I like issue number 1 and 2. I think it's cool. Nice murder mystery with this magical element. Of course, New Gods. Can't wait for that. Absolute Flash. I'm ready to give it more chances, of course, right? I can't, I wasn't in love with issue number 1 like I was with some of these Absolute books. So hopefully issue number 2 kind of pulls it together. Of course, Redcoat with the Northerner. It's about time we got this person in the actual main story, messing around with Simon, seeing what's going on there. And then TMNT's been on the upswing recently, so I can't wait to see what the team does and how they take back New York and how they deal with Donnie losing his mind. So yeah,
we still got Juan on art.
Yeah, Juan's still on it. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got that Eastman cover this week as well. So and Summer of Superman. So we'll dip into that and see what that's all about. We get that special this week as well.
Oh yeah. E, how about you, bro?
I would agree with all those books that Nick listed here. Redcoat, I'm definitely super hyped for. I've been loving that book. It's my favorite Ghost Machine book. Outside of the ones that he's already mentioned here, mine is A Long Lonesome Grave. I've been really, really digging that story, so I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to continue that. I'm like a proud parent in the stands for Iron Man right now. Iron Man started off slow and sluggish, but I feel like the promise that the writer was hopefully going to deliver, being a journalist and particularly a war journalist, I feel like he delivered that with the last issue. So if they can kind of keep that trajectory, if they could deliver another issue, maybe I can continue being excited for it. So Iron Man number 7, I want to read it. I want to see what's going on there. Conan the Barbarian, if I get it, maybe if it's there, I will be super excited. I really, really like what Conan's doing, obviously, but it just needs to get in our hands. And what's another one? What's the last one here? I'll say Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman wrapped up the biggest, the big first arc with the 20 issues here. So I'm excited to see kind of where they could take it from here, and if they can kind of keep things fresh and exciting the way that it has been.
Oh yeah,
I will say it is very different. We have a whole new direction we're going in with that book right now.
Okay,
there you go.
Okay.
Is Homeboy still narrating it every step of the way? The what's his name?
No. It's as if it's essentially a number 1. I don't know how long it's going to go for, but we've completely abandoned everything from the previous arc. We're starting a brand new story.
Did we ever get a resolution to the damn woman in the pool hole? Did that ever happen?
Yeah, she gave birth to a child.
Yeah, she made a baby.
Now, whether or not that's Lizzie or not, who knows? I mean, that I think that's what happened, and I think Wonder Woman romanticized it and said and lied about the creation of her, and she learned the truth in the dungeon. That's what I think happened.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Check out Wonder Woman, guys. Yeah, New Gods and Ultimate Wolverine, Zatanna. Those are definitely, I think, my top 3. And of course, that Wolverine, Daniel Warren Johnson, a Wolverine. I mean, say less, dude.
Yeah,
can't wait for that.
It's like 6 pages, but it's so worth it.
I know, right? God, that would be dream. That would be a dream to have him on that book.
Yeah,
that would be my Transformers for sure. Yeah. So guys, like we said before, we got our new Patreon launched. It is free. Patreon.com/Ink and Insights. We will have all our sneak peeks at all our new stuff that we have coming up. We have our newsletter up there. Our first issue, issue 2 is well underway. We should have that coming up soon. We're going to try to drop one every quarter. Issue 2 is going to be much more extensive than the first issue. We got a bunch of fun stuff planned in this one. But also, yeah, it's going to be our home for, sneak peeks of content we have coming up and all that good stuff. We're going to try to keep it updated fairly regularly, and we want it to be a community for all of us where, we can share these things with you guys and interact with you guys, and just separate from everything else, just a home for the Ink and Insights crew. So if you aren't subbed up or following that, it is free. Make sure you check us out over there. As always, you can find me at Dr. Doom's Fan Club on YouTube and IG. You can find E at 9 Panel Grid on YouTube and 9 NINE Panel Grid on IG, and Nick is at Comic Culture on YouTube and at Nick_comic_culture on IG. So don't forget to follow us on all of those socials. But please check out the Patreon, guys. We worked on it. We're very proud of it. I can't wait for you guys to see what we got coming out in issue 2. So make sure you check us out there. And to everybody that's already supported, we really appreciate you all showing up for us. I just dropped my new Surrounded by Short Boxes with Superman, one of my favorite Superman stories, Superman from DC Comics Presents number 85, Alan Moore. Superman being exposed to a deadly Kryptonian fungus and renting a car or buying a car and heading south to die alone until he runs into Swamp Thing. But just a great deep cut hidden gem of a comic. So make sure you check that out on my channel. E, what you got, bro?
On the pull list, my weekly comic book review show, dropping every single Sunday morning here to go over all the books that we talked about today, plus a whole heck of a lot more. So if you want more opinions on people like Spider-Man and Absolute Batman, that Twinkie eating Bruce Wayne, hit it up. Check it out. I'll let you know what I think.
Oh yeah, Nick. Excuse me, Nick. Where can the people find you, and what you got coming out, bro?
Yeah, so like we said, Nick Comic Culture on Instagram and over on YouTube, and so very much like weekly comic book review shows have top downs of a lot of key issues. If you want to, revisit TMNT, I got the first 7 issues down right now, and many other key comics. You can kind of flip through those pages, and we can go over the story together. I know that Precious Metal is hitting trade paperback very, very soon in the coming month or so. So I recommend picking that up, and then you can join us over on my channel. I have a Little Bird breakdown with Eric, and we also have the Precious Metal breakdown. So read the book. I'm sure you're going to have lots of questions. You can hop on that video and hopefully get some answers and join the conversation over in the chat as well.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Come learn things you didn't even think you knew about that book over in that breakdown video, guys. Super extensive.
Yeah. Go create a memory.
Yeah. Absolutely. Enough said. Pete, real quick. Pete said, those Spider-Man covers are dope by Brooks. Y'all check those out. Brooks'
that was really cool.
And Dan's Catwoman covers have been amazing, man. They really have been next level.
Yeah.
That man, when that man does the hot leather, there's few in the game who can emulate him. But yeah, I just want to say thank you again to everybody who came through tonight. As always, we see you guys most every week, and we really appreciate y'all coming out and supporting us. It really means a lot to us. You guys leaving comments or words of support throughout the week really help brighten my days and keep me pushing. So I just want to say we appreciate all of y'all. We love all of y'all. We hope everybody's doing well out there in TV land. If you're going to be at Heroes in June, make sure you holler at us. We would love to meet up with y'all and do some digging or go meet some creators. So otherwise, thank you guys for joining us. We will see you again next week, and check us all out on our individual channels. Until next time, guys, station.